Hey everyone, Velcronic here. I wanted to do a video on the best method to level from 1 to 120 right now for patch 8.1. A couple of things to know is that this will work for Horde or Alliance, but admittedly, after being a Horde player for so long, the Alliance zones are much more friendly to speed leveling. Second, I would also recommend the use of two particular add-ons. One of them is Handy Notes, the second being Mists of Pandaria treasures and Warlords of Draenor treasures, which we'll talk about later. The next thing is what class to play. Now honestly, if there's a class that you want specifically, do that, but if we're talking about the quickest method possible, I recommend a melee class that can also tank. So Paladin, Warrior, Druid, Monk, Death Knight, things like that. Now once you create that particular class or character, then you'll want to go ahead and choose which zones you want to choose for your leveling process. Now again, as I stated, you can do this on Horde or Alliance, but the Alliance side is much more advantageous for this method. So first thing, either way, you're going to want to start out in Elwyn Forest. You're going to want to do all these quests, and then from there, just move over a bit to the west to Westfall. Once you're in Westfall, you're going to want to do probably most of these quests as well, but you're also going to be level 15 by now. This is where being a tank comes into play. Once you hit 15, you can do random dungeons. Tanking at these levels is super easy, and you only have about 5 abilities. There's really not much that can go wrong. So definitely try tanking. Queue for those dungeons while questing. Now once you've done Westfall, you have two choices. You can either go to Red Ridge Mountains, or the one that's kind of in between is Duskwood. You want to do all these quests. The other alternative here is just keep doing dungeons. You can do dungeons and get good experience for your level up until about 45 or 50. After that, you kind of get diminishing returns on your XP per time equation. But again, keep doing dungeons as a tank. If you get a dungeon you've already done, you've already completed the quest, just leave queue and go back to questing. I can verify that questing is always quicker than dungeons. Now, once you've actually hit level 60, definitely skip this little area over here called Outland. Outland still had a lot of the old mindset of questing, of go over here and kill 15 of this person, collect 20 of this item, go over here and listen to this large amount of RP, and it's just a time waste. Instead, you're going to want to go to Northrend. Now you're going to skip Borean Tundra and Howling Fjord, regardless, Horde or Alliance, it doesn't matter. You're going to go to Dragonblight immediately. And when you're in Dragonblight, you're either going to go to the Alliance starting zone, Star's Arrest, or Winterguard Keep. And of course the Horde is going to go to wherever the Horde goes, because it's not on my map right now. Do most of the quests in Dragonblight, and then from there, you're also going to be using that tanking strategy, going into the dungeons, doing the quests. If you get another dungeon and you've done the quest, leave, keep questing. You're only going to do about half of Dragonblight, and then once you're about 64, 65, you're going to go to Zuldrak. You're going to skip almost all of Zuldrak, but you're going to go to Light's Breach, and you're going to pick up the quest here, save some raccoons, kill some giant porpoise whale walrus thing, do all those, ignore anything over here, and skip over to the Argent Stand. Do some of the quests here, except the one for Dalaran, because you'll need to go to Dalaran. Just do the quest here, and then you can go over to the Amphitheater of Anguish with a 120 friend of yours and get a free level and a half. Now once you are about 3 levels from level 70, you're going to fly all the way across to Sholazar Basin. Now this zone, you're going to do most of the quests over here on the left hand side. You're going to know the hub, Nezingwari Base Camp, start all that stuff. These quests here are also quick, but you do have to kill 60 animals. But when you kill 60 animals, that's also covering about 4 different quests. So once you've done that, you can also bring somebody that's 120, and they can kill all those for you and knock it out in about 10 minutes. Now once you've completed essentially Northrend, and by the way, if you haven't been doing dungeons, you can go over to Ice Crown down here, to the Argent Vanguard, some quick easy quests, and you'll hit 70. Now once you've hit that level, you're going to do Cataclysm instead of Pandaria, but you're not going to do very much of Cataclysm. So the way you're going to do it is you're going to go to Mount Hyjal, do all the quests here, because unless you do all the quests, these won't unlock, like the Sanctuary of Malorn and all those. So do all the quests, won't take long. You actually kind of gain momentum with leveling the higher up you are because of the nerf. Now once you've done Mount Hyjal, go ahead and hearth back to Stormwind or whatever, because you've got the portals, and then you're going to go to Oldham. Super boring. Alternatively, you can also go to Deepholm. But Oldham, when you start at Oldham, there are a lot of quests that are, like the first 5 or 6 quests are done in about 5 or 6 minutes, and they're about 20,000 experience each. It's super quick, and Oldham just flies by. Again, tank each dungeon once. They're not as beneficial, but at least you can kind of get some gear, because if you level too quick without getting any kind of dungeon gear, your leveling is going to slow down soon when you have to actually go back and start questing. So once you've done Oldham and all that and you're 85, you're going to want to go to Pandaria. Now you're going to want to go to the Jade Forest, Order Alliance, again, doesn't matter. This is where the add-on comes in, and this is what those icons look like. Each one of these here is about 45,000 experience if you have the heirlooms equipped and leveled up. And then once you've done most of the Jade Forest, or at least half of it, when you're halfway up to 90, again, it doesn't take very long. When you're about 86, 87, you can skip over to Kunlai Summit. At least that's what I usually do. Start the quest there, and before you know it, you'll hit 90. And now we're pretty much on easy mode. Once you've hit 90, you're going to go to Draenor. And Draenor, each one of these, of course, has a leveling requirement. You can see at the top there what level you have to be. So Shadowmoon Valley for the Alliance. You're not actually going to do any quests in all of Draenor. You're actually just going to go and, as you can see, loot these items. You're going to be flying around, hopefully with the fastest flight speed, 310%. You're going to be flying around and looting all these items and really nothing else. Amazing gameplay, but it's efficient. While you're also leveling and by picking up these items, you're going to want to do these bonus objectives. Kill 12 of this thing, kill 12 of that thing, 20 of that thing. Each one of these with heirlooms, last I checked, was about 80,000 experience apiece. So almost, I guess, half a level or a third of a level. So do these zones, and you won't even have to worry about Nagrand, or you won't worry about Nagrand. So you're just going to do all the items, collect the bonus objective quests. Next thing you know, you're already back into Legion territory, the Broken Isles. This is where the tanking strategy stops. You're not going to be doing any dungeons, and this is a prime example of why. Legion Assaults. So when you first start the Legion content, get your DPS artifact weapon. If you've never done the artifact stuff for your class, I recommend doing all of them anyway, if you haven't, because it's a good historical part of the game, in my opinion. But for speed, just get your DPS weapon, because you're not going to be tanking or healing. From there, really, you can quest. It goes pretty quick, but you're mainly going to be doing Legion Assaults with War Mode on. This whole time, you should have had War Mode on, but some people don't like that, and I understand, but it is slower. So you want to do the Legion Assaults with War Mode. You basically at a level and a half to a level and a third, or a level and a quarter, as you get closer to 110. So really, you can just log in, log off, do a Legion Assault, and you're good. You can also Google World of Warcraft server name Legion Assault and track the time remaining or time until a Legion Assault. And I've leveled up probably 3 characters to bridge that 100 to 110 gap just by using invasions, because for some reason Blizzard left it in the game. And from there, you are in current content. You can choose any of these zones, it doesn't really matter. They're all fun. I kind of prefer Drustvar or Stormsong, but definitely make sure you have your heirlooms maxed out with the new changes that came in 8.1. It will be worth noticing, and let me pull this up here, that with your heirlooms, even though they scale to 120, shows up there 4 out of 4, they don't scale with the stats. So these are showing like 128, 192, 127 stats, but you're actually going to be seeing Azerite armor with about 250 on each of those values. So you will be slower, you will do less damage, and you will die quicker, but you will get bonus experience. So you can either change and put these on before you turn in quests. It's really up to you. The last thing, aside from the add-ons that I talked about, are going to be to make sure that you have Azeroth autopilot turned on or downloaded, and that'll auto accept and auto turn in the quests for you. And if this is your first time through, I recommend it, and you'll be good from there. So thanks for watching, and hope this was helpful.